Hi, I'm Miley, and welcome to my podcast that has yet to be named as of making this video, but it will be named when I post this. So, this podcast will mainly be about books, me reviewing them, and giving my opinion on them, and kind of just talking about the book in general. I may have some friends with me later on a couple others. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to get a video out every week, but it may not happen. So, we'll see. That will be my chair. It may make noises like that. So, my hands may come up when I speak. So, yeah, I think that's it. I'm excited. I love talking about books. So, yeah. Need to talk about that. So, these videos will mainly be in general character and then spoilers. So the general stuff will be the rating I give them, the age rating, the POV, and the genre. Mind you, all this is going to be like my opinion and just facts. Then I'll talk about the plot a little bit, like just a tiny bit probably. Then some characters, mainly the main ones. Maybe I'll go into a little bit of the side characters, but that may be more for the second or third video, if it's a series. Spoilers, I may do a little bit about the general stuff if I want to go deeper. I'll go deeper into some of the characters. I probably won't give too much away about the plot. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't really know. But I'm going to say there's spoilers. I may talk about a major spoiler, but I'll tell you. I'll be like, okay, spoilers, and then I'll be like, I'm going to talk about major spoiler now. So, yeah. So, let's get into it. I'm going to first tell you that this is my second read-through of this book, and I kind of finished reading this second read-through like a week ago, so I have a lot of notes. So I'll be like looking in between. I'll try to look at the camera, but also I can see myself, so I may end up like staring myself in the eyes. So it's gonna be first time, so it's kind of just a learning thing. So yeah, I have my notes, so I'll probably be looking at my notes a lot. Okay, now let's actually get into it. Okay, this first book, Assistant to the Villain, number 1, by Hannah Nicole Mayer. Sorry if I pronounced her name wrong. Literally loved this book. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Like, loved it. Literally, the first time I read it, I basically read it in one sitting. Like, that's how you know I love a book, when I don't do stops. I am a pretty fast reader. My friends will tell you that, but when I really like a book, I don't take breaks. I take my book with me, and I took this book with me, loved it so much, finished it in a day, finished the second book in a day too. So that's how much I love this book. Literally 5 out of 5. Also, my chair is really annoying. Sorry. Just love this book so much. Age rating. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop moving. I'd say it's young adult, probably on the older side of young adult, because it does have some content, has more gruesome content, and then what you'd say is more mature. It's more jokes and implied thoughts. So it doesn't actually go outright and say it. So you'd have to know it, if that makes sense. It has some bad words. So if you don't like cursing, don't read this book. So yeah, young adult, but on the older side. So closer to adult genre. Fantasy, fairy tale, romance, and comedy. Definitely fantasy. It has fairy tale vibes, which is really nice. Loved it. It also has some modern stuff in it, which is really fun. So this like mix of fairy tale, fantasy, and modern gives just such a different vibe from other books, which I love that. And the fairy tale just makes a big difference between this book and others that I've read. Romance. It's a slow burn, definitely. Really wish. I love slow burns, but also like, please go faster. And this one's an actual slow burn. But like, they like each other. And the romance is like, it's a big part, but it doesn't take your attention away from what's actually happening, which is really nice. I think at least in my opinion, that's what it is. To others, it may be different. Comedy now. I just love the comedy, honestly. Like, it makes such a big difference from other fantasy books that I've read, because other fantasy books don't have this comedy to it, but this one does. And it just it's so different, and I kind of like that difference. And the comedy, actually, it brings a spotlight to the more serious topics. And it also doesn't take away from the serious topics. So, like, the serious topics aren't passed over. And the comedy actually makes those serious parts more emotional. Like, I don't know if the author meant to do this, but if she did, that amazing to her. Love that. Plot now. Has some amazing twists and turns. Like, I didn't see some of these coming the first time I read them. I was like, oh my gosh, what? Really? Oh. And that's how you just know it's a good book, because you're reading this and then the plot twist comes and you're just like, I didn't see that coming. Oh my gosh. I love it when books do that, because I'm usually really good at guessing what happens. And then a little bit into the characters. They all deal with like really relatable things. So I'm like, oh, I felt that way. And it just makes it so much easier to connect with the characters. It makes it way more emotional. And the characters are just really complex, which is really nice. Love when the characters are like that. Honestly, I don't really know what that means, but I think I'm using it correctly. Hopefully. Hopefully, at least. Yeah, so this book was just honestly amazing. I may be talking really fast. I just kind of do that sometimes. But yeah, honestly, it was so good. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. Loved it. So, literally, sorry, I'm just like so in love with this book. Okay, to the next part then. To the characters. I don't know why I did that. Okay, to the characters now. Evie and the villain. I won't go into much detail about the other characters. I'll talk like, very tiny bit. I won't actually name names, but they'll be there. So Evie, love her. Literally. Love her. Like, she likes books, which I love books, so I'm like, twins. Just, she's just kind of like, yeah, like, I don't know how to, like, explain how much I love her. There were, like, multiple instances where I'm like, go girl, go! Go girl, go! Yeah! And she's just so different from the usual characters that I read about. And it's just such a really refreshing change. Like, she tries to see the good in people. Like, she continues it throughout the whole book, and she's really positive. But it doesn't make her, like, overly annoying or, like, well, overly annoyingly, like, naive. I can say words. And a lot of female leads do have that, like, naivety, and it's just hard sometimes to read those books. But with this one, she's not really naive. Like, in a sense, she is. Well, she is, but it's not overly naive, which is really nice. And just in general, she's really relatable, like I just said. And she just has these feelings that we all feel in our own lives. Like, I'm going to talk about one thing she feels right now. She doesn't feel like she's really wanted in a way. And I'm like, sometimes I feel that way, and I'm like, I can relate to that. But she's also just a really happy character. And as with all happy characters, there's always at least one character that goes against that happiness. But she stays strong. And she's just also super real. Like, she's just completely herself a lot of the time. And I love that. So I'm like, yeah. And I just love seeing that honesty and how real she is on a day-to-day basis. So it's just really refreshing. Like, everything. Such a big difference from other girl characters. Now, to the villain. Love him. He's just, yeah. But there are times where I'm yelling at him not to do something. I'm like yelling at him like it would change anything. I'm like my brother, my dad, who yell at the TV when it's not going their way. I'm yelling at a book. But honestly, there's not a lot I can say about him without giving too much away. So I'll talk about him more later. Also Evie. But there's just also so much to him. More than you'd think, honestly. And there's such a big difference from him and other male villain leads. Like, his personality seems really different, which is really nice. So, yeah, just love that. Other characters. Well, all the characters in the book are really complex. Well, the bigger ones, of course. And everyone has a reason for what they do. Like, everyone has a different backstory, which is part of the reason why they do the things they do. Like, you don't get all this backstory in the first book, but it does come up later in, like, the second book. So I have read it. not the third one yet. But it's just so nice to see those different backstories and things. And there's more than just Evie and the villain's love story. Like, the other characters have love stories, and a lot of them are slow burns as well, so you can see it progress throughout this book and the next. And it's just so nice. Loved it. Oh, I was gonna talk about the comedy again real quick. There were times where I was reading this book at night. I had to be so quiet because everybody else is asleep. And I'm like, I can't laugh out loud. So I was like, that's how much I thought it was hilarious. That's how funny I thought it was. Last fact. For those who like dragons, this book has a dragon. Yeah. I'm one of those girls that likes dragons, so that was so crazy and fun. Now, to the spoilers. Let's go. Okay, spoilers now. So, I'm gonna go a little bit into the age group for this book. So like I mentioned, it can be really gruesome, but the jokes and stuff are a little bit like sexual in a way. But in my opinion, it kind of just makes the book better. That's why I'd say it's more on the adult side. And also, mainly, who's doing this is Evie. Not really the villain, he does do it, but it's mainly Evie that you hear these jokes that are like thoughts she has. And you're just like, oh, okay. Like she once was like, don't look at the boss's thighs, Evie. And I was like, oh, I actually laughed at that. I was like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's just, honestly, Evie's just amazing. Okay. Let's go on to a little spoiler section about Evie. Evie it is now. Spoiler section on Evie. Okay. Gotta stop. This girl has the mind of a villain. Let me tell you. She full on said that she tortured someone for the villain. Like, really? Wow, okay. And she's not scared of anything the villain does. Like, he does something and she's just like, she just goes about her day. Like, she's not terrified of the villain side. She's like, there'd be severed heads hanging from the ceiling, and she's just like, okay, yeah, he's in a mood, just normal day in the office. The only thing she's looking for are eyeballs on the floor. And you're just like, okay. And she admits that she's, like, she should be scared by this. Like, it, like, in the book it says, the brand of horror she came across on the day-to-day didn't ruffle her the way it should have. And I'm like, at least she's aware of that fact. Like, that she should be scared. Because she's very, like, yes to the gruesomeness. So it's honestly kind of funny, and you're just like, love how she's so different from other girl characters. Because, like, others are usually super scared of that. And she's just got this, like, natural darkness to it, and she kind of just plays it off with a joke, which is really funny. Honestly, like, actually, this is also one of my favorite lines, but the first time she sees him, she says, you can't kill people and be pretty. It's confusing. And I'm just like, yeah, I gotta agree with that. Literally love that line, honestly. It's like, maybe she's the villain and the villain is the assistant. Maybe. That would be really funny, actually. I'm kidding, kind of. Maybe. Now to her other side, like more personal and private, people say a lot of rude things about her, and she acts like it doesn't affect her. She just kind of pushes it away, and I feel like we can all relate to that at least once in our lives. Like, there's this time where she's eavesdropping on people, and they're talking about her, and she's just like, let me find it actually. I wrote it. She acknowledges how so many people would like to be in her position and be that fly on the wall. But it turns out it's awful. It's horrible to hear what people are saying. And she actually says, like, I think she says that it's kind of like really sad how she can just push it away and it doesn't affect her anymore. I think. Don't hold me on that. Oh, wait. She says, I have it actually. She says that the words don't sting her anymore because she knows who she is. There we go. Which honestly just shows how strong she is. But also, I feel like the words do bother her a little bit. She just doesn't. She pretends like they don't. Yeah. I think the words bother her. And also, she's a little bit of a people pleaser, if you couldn't tell. And it's just so sad how nobody wants to be your friend. Like, I would be your friend. But she keeps that happiness she has throughout the whole book. And she doesn't really lose it. And then also there's this whole other part of her, like her backstory, where she's been mistreated in her past work, but she stays strong and she keeps going. And she has so much pressure on her shoulders, but still, she moves forward. She doesn't let it affect her. Like with her family, she has to take care of her little sister and her sick father, and it's just amazing how she can do that still. Like, honestly, I feel like I would be like done, but she's not, and I think it's amazing. Now, to the villain. To the villain we go. Love him, but this dude annoys me sometimes. Like, come on, don't do this. Like, he likes her, but he says, she's too good for me, I can't be with her. And I'm just like, come on, dude, don't be like all the other guys. Like, you can tell he likes her from the first time you meet him. And honestly, he just kind of looks past it, which is kind of funny. Like, he has to call her Sage, which is her last name, to distance himself from her. Like, how? Because he's like, I can't be with her. Like, I don't care, dude. Go be with her. Honestly, there was this time after she sneezed, he thought this. He was a puddle on the floor, and every speck of dust in that room was his enemy. And it's just like, come on, dude, you like her. Go be with her. And you can just see how much he likes her through how protective he is of her. Like, he was gonna kill people he cared for, because he thought they were hurting her. Which is just like, oh my gosh, like, he loves her. That was my hand cracked. There's also this time where an intern said something bad about her, and he killed him. He is in love with her. And he depends on her. Like, completely depends on her. He needs her. Like, he I think he almost cries. He almost cried because he missed her. It was his fault that she wasn't there. But he was like on the verge of tears. And then he hears her voice, or he'll see her, and he just immediately relaxes. And you're just like, oh my gosh. Like this, okay, one of my favorite parts, but also like I hate this part at the same time, is when, so his composure like starts to slip and he calls her by her first name. And you're just like, oh my gosh. Oh, I like heard that was really loud. He calls her by her first name. But then a couple pages later, he puts those walls back up and he's like, nope, I can't be with her. No, oh. And I'm just like, why? Why do you gotta do this to me? And also, at least he's able to communicate, which is really nice. And he also has this obsession with his hair, which is really funny. And it gives him more character. Like, it's a nervous tick, but also he cares about his hair. He's like Evie once was like, oh, you have a bald spot. And he was like, oh my gosh, what? It was really funny. And I love how that just gives him more character. And then, like, he actually has a family. And which, compared to other villains who are like orphans, it's really nice. It's a change. And then we get to actually see the backstory of his family, of his siblings, and his father has a genuine reason for not being there while he was growing up. It may not have been the best reason, but at least it's not, he's a deadbeat dad, which I feel like we all see. So you can see his backstory, like he actually has one, and it's like a real one, and which is just really nice. Like, he had a family, and then something happened where he changed, and that's the reason why there's tension in the family, which is really nice. So yeah, now I'm gonna get into I'm gonna talk a little bit about a major spoiler. So let's get into it, shall we? It won't be too long. Okay, major spoiler now. It's about her father. So, well, Evie's father. This man is horrible. Let me tell you. Literally horrible. Like, what is it with him, huh? And, like, he manipulates her. He uses her. He basically sells her to a man. And he's all saying, like, well, actually, no, that's not true. I was gonna say something. But it's horrible. It's also the spoiler, it's the twist that I didn't see coming. I'm like, oh my gosh. Literally horrible man. He's like the actual villain here. And I'm just like, why? Why do you do this? So, just, it's horrible, honestly. I'm like, this man is horrible. Why you gotta be like this? Yeah. I'm just saying he's horrible over and over again, I know. I can... There's gonna be a lot of craziness going on in the background, isn't there? But you know. Okay, well, anyways, that was the end of this video. Loved this book, and I love talking about it. Can't wait to talk about the next one. Hopefully it will be a little better after this first one. So I'm excited. Hope everyone else is excited to hear about book number 2, which I believe is Apprentice to the Villain, which is also a good book. So I'm excited. I don't know when it'll come out. I don't know when this video will come out, honestly. I have, like, no schedule. But we'll see. So, bye everyone! Thanks for watching.